And folks, we are live. Everyone, welcome to the Joe Show. I'm your host, Joseph Decker, here in the Rafferty Studios. I want to thank everybody who's coming on and joining the show today here with us. We just got done having an amazing episode earlier in the week, and it did some great numbers, and we had a lot of people tune in. I'm very thankful for that. So thank you, everybody, for that. Today we have a really good guest I'm really excited for. With football season coming closer and closer, I wanted to get two of the faces of Kentucky high school football this year, one of the best coaches in the state and players. That is Jackson Shoulders and Coach Chad Griffin from Hart County. Hart County had a phenomenal season this year. But before that, let's go ahead. I want to ask you guys how you all have been. What have you guys been up to? It's been a pretty busy week around here in Edmonson County. A lot of stuff going on. We had a lot of bad weather. Big shout out to my guy, Braden Johnson. Braden Johnson is a classmate of mine who competed at state today. Unfortunately, lost in the second round, but made a lot of noise in the tennis community. So, congrats, Braden. Thank you for tuning in. Got a few guys already saying some stuff in the chat. But let's go ahead and do everyone's favorite part of the show. Let me let you guys know about our sponsors. Our sponsor wall pulling up right now. That is our sponsors for today's episode. Let's go ahead and get into them. I'll give you guys a brief description on each one. Our show sponsor today is, of course, The Best Kayaks and More. They're a mom and pop shop located on Highway 259 here in Bee Spring. They can provide you with all your outdoor needs, and they excel in kayaks with a lot of their equipment being used nationwide, especially right now in tournaments and events. An easy way to contact them is either through Kim and Tony Polson or through 270-286-7001. Next up after that, we have our guys at CNA Plumbing. CNA Plumbing is a local plumbing business located in Brownsville. They can cover all your plumbing needs at a very affordable price. Contact Adam Coates or Craig Childress. They are located beside Alford's and across from the 5-6 Center. Next up is Patton Funeral Home. They are the best local funeral home business with locations in Cave City, Park City, and Brownsville. The phone number to contact them is 270-597-2136. Once again, 270-597-2136. And after that, we have the Lake Forest recruiting firm paired with Braden's Blessings. Lake Forest offers part-time or full-time permanent placement for psychiatrists and psychiatrist nurse practitioners. We work diligently to find our clients and candidates for the perfect fit. Braden's Blessings is a local charity by Allison and Jay Holland. They honor the life of the Braden Combs, who tragically lost his life in 2019. That is a charity by Allison and Jay Holland, once again, who do some amazing works. Just recently doing some great works for the school prom, getting together a lot of clothing. That was something great. So for either of those, Lake Forest or Braden's Blessings, a good guy to go through is our guy, Jay Holland, who actually was a big key of setting this episode up. So thank you, Jay. Next up is Corey Colberth at Kentucky Farm Bureau. Contact insurance agent Corey Colberth for all your insurance-related needs. He is located at the Kentucky Farm Bureau building in Brownsville. Best way to contact him is 270-597-2127. Next up is H&K Construction. They are consulting management and construction. They do custom homes at a quality you deserve at a price you can afford. That is Alan Keppel. Make sure to check out their newest Facebook page at H&K Construction. An easy way to contact them is 270-791-2288. And next up, a partner of Alan's is Shauna Gravel. Shauna is a local realtor who is a part of the Gravel Group and Keller Williams. Her office is located in the Keller Williams building across from the Green River Apartments in Brownsville. Her easiest way of contact is 270-246-1329. Next up, we have our guys at Laserit. Laserit is a laser engraving service who can make and produce just about anything you need. They do excellent work on hats. They have made some amazing batches, especially for myself and Buttram Farms. They can also make cutting boards, work on baseball gloves, and really so much more. Follow them on their Facebook page and contact them through Caleb Skaggs or Scott Skaggs. Last but certainly not least is Sanders Radiator number 1. Sanders Radiator is a automotive and radiator repair service in Bowling Green, Kentucky. An easy way to contact them is through my guy Dusty Wilson or through 270-843-1772. Once again, 270-843-1772. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all our sponsors for today's episode. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here early on the show today. And yeah, thank you for the continued support as of late. We're going to go ahead and bring in our guests. I have two amazing guests here today, bringing in Coach Chad Griffin and Coach not coach, and player Jackson Shoulders. Chad, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. And how about you, Jackson?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, without a doubt. We'd like to have you guys again in the future. I wanted to get you guys on here because Hart County, like everyone knows, had an amazing season last year. And Jackson with the awards you brung in, and then Coach with the awards you brung in, and doing all the coaching deeds. I have a few questions for y'all. I want to talk about some things during the season, after the season, how your guys' off season is going. So I'll ask with that, Jackson. I know you play basketball after the season, and I know Coach Chad. I'm sure you're a busy man after the football season. What have you guys really been up to?
Like you said, basketball. We had a pretty good season. We ended up making it to the region tournament. Unfortunately, we lost in the first round, but after basketball season ended, jumped right into track. I'm looking forward to the state track meet this weekend.
And what will you be participating in for track?
I'll be throwing discus.
Okay, perfect. And how about you, Coach Griffin?
Well, I'm also the AD, so since football's over, I get to indulge in all the other athletics that we have around the school and organize and take care of that. But the biggest part was just taking a little time away and then getting back in the weight room and into our off season and watching our guys get better and we're getting ready to get into June and do a couple of days there and get ready to shut this thing down for a little while before we got to come back on July 10th.
Yeah, so I want to kind of really jump right into questions and start asking you guys. So in this recent season, you guys went 13-1, undefeated in the regular season. The season prior to that, I believe you guys went 9-3. Did you guys kind of expect this huge, amazing season this year, or was it kind of I know it wasn't a shock because you guys knew the talent you had, but did you expect this type of year?
Go ahead, Jackson.
I personally think I was expecting this kind of year. We weren't. We had a few guys come back for their fifth year, including me, myself, Clark Rexroth, Jordan Bradley, our running backs, and then Caden Trent. We were all. That was our fifth year on varsity, but I think that really prepared us to have the season we had because we were able to step into that leadership role after our junior season, unfortunately losing in the second round of the playoffs. When second round of the playoffs came in, this time we were ready for it. We were ready to, we knew what we had to do. We also had 9 other seniors by our side. So, but the year before, I think we only had 4 seniors. This year we had 13. So I think that was a big part of it. So having that many guys, knowing what it takes, having been there before, I think we were really expecting something great. And, that's what happened.
Yeah, Jackson kind of hit on it. I mean, experience led the way, but I mean, people talk, and I get questioned a lot about is this a one-hit wonder, and I say no because, we were 6-5 2 years ago. COVID really set our program back just because we were a smaller program and we weren't really a program then. Mm-hmm. So, but when you talk about what we've done, I mean, I've been doing this for 23 years now. Part of a region championship, the first region championship at another school, and also making to the state semifinals. And that was their first time doing that in school history as well. So but people don't realize is when you go 10-0 in football, it's hard to do. And so when you say, hey, coach, no, I didn't expect being 10-0. I expect us to be in every football game and then have a chance to win. And that's where we were. And, and I say this, I told the team this several times that, and I've used it in a lot of another analogies is, when you're getting good because things go your way. And not only do they go your way, you make them go their way. That's kind of what happened to us this year. If you really look at our schedule and the scores, we didn't blow a lot of people out, but we kind of controlled the game and we made people play the way we wanted to play. And at the end, we were there. And some things went our way. And that, I don't care who you are, to go 10-0 in the regular season and then to make it to the state semifinals, that says a lot about these guys and the leadership. And Jackson hit it on the nose. I think we had 4 seniors year before. I think we ended up with 12 this year, and we got 16 or 17 this coming year. So to do what we did is it's hard to duplicate. Okay. When you really talk about winning a region championship in 3A football, there's a lot of schools around here who still haven't done that. So although it took us 53 years of a program to do that, it still felt good.
Yeah. And you talk about that senior loss and then, getting all these seniors this year, and then you're going to lose a lot, but you're also gaining a lot of guys. Do you believe that this senior class you have coming up has those traits and that leadership role to lead the team similar to this recent year?
I do. And I mean, if you talk to most coaches, you could see it coming. I mean, the thing about it is Okay, and sometimes they just need a little guidance. Winners are winners, and winners breed winners. I believe in that too. I've been, like I said before, I was part of another program for a long time who wasn't real good, and we got good, and we built the thing. And even when I left, I didn't think they should be as good as they were. But what happened was, it's just like losing. Losing becomes a habit. Winning becomes a habit. And sometimes it's just figuring that out. And what Jackson, those guys have done as have showed people what to do. And I say it all the time. Sometimes, and Jackson said it a minute ago about, getting to the second round. And then as we get to this year, we were more prepared for it. Well, it's the same thing. I mean, sometimes teams don't know how to do it because they've never done it. And Jackson's heard me say that 1,000 times. You got me?
I'll take him out here and put him back in. I don't want to lose him, man. Coach Griffin, can you hear us?
I can hear you barely. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me take you out real quick and put you right back in. All right, you're back. Can you hear us?
Not really.
Here, if you don't mind, go ahead and reset on your phone or your laptop and then join through that invite link one more time, and that should fix it. Jackson, I'll go ahead and ask you this since we got you in here. This was a question I was going to save for a little later, but I want to hit on it a little bit. You had a lot of great schools offer you and, give you the chance to come play for them. Tell me a little bit about your recruiting process and what made you select Georgetown.
Really just getting to be on campus, for a few visits, going on visits for each school has really opened my eyes to, what my college life is going to be like, what life on campus is going to be like. Got to speak with all the coaches. I think the coaches was a big part of the decision I made. I'm not saying the other programs didn't have really great coaches, but Coach Chris Oliver is now the coach for Georgetown. I really like his philosophy. I like what he preaches. He's coming from a national championship from Lindsey Wilson 4 years ago. So, he was a big part of it. The location, I really like where Georgetown's located, about 15 miles from Lexington.
Yeah.
I think those two were a big part of it. And, they're, like Coach Griffin said, they're breeding winners. They're figuring out how to win. They're having 10-win seasons. They're winning conference championships. And that's just something I want to be a part of.
Yeah, and Coach Griffin and Jackson, I believe I read this right. You guys have 5 guys going on to play college football. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is. And that's once again, that's a testament of what those guys have done. And we haven't put a lot of guys in college lately, and that's what I was kind of saying earlier was, it's kind of a stepping stone. You gotta believe you can do it. You got to see others do it. You got to get there, and these guys they're doing a lot for Hart County Raider football.
Yeah.
And I told them that every time they come and talk about going is, listen, go there and represent, because you're paving a path for future Raiders to ever to get in college. Because if you go there and you don't stay there and you don't do the right things, they're not going to recruit us. They're not going to recruit our guys anymore. So it says a lot. I'm glad that we got 5 guys that can play football and they can play at the next level. And I'm really excited to go watch them on Saturdays and see how they do.
Yeah. So I was watching an earlier interview you did, and I heard you talk about something that you call toughness. And it was a little bit of Tuesday and Thursdays weightlifting I kind of got from it, and a lot of work with the sled. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So when I was at Central Hardin, was the school I came from, we always did toughness as well. And it was one of those things where and so when I got here, I tried to incorporate it, but there were just so many other things I needed to do that we had to do. So I didn't really get to incorporate it until, I'd say, we've probably been doing it for 3 years now, truly full blown doing it. And so what that is we got guys that can lift in school, and then we got guys that we expect to lift after school. But even if you're an in school lifter, I expect you to be at toughness. So you may lift 6 period and then don't have to be back to 4:30, but it's something that we do, and it's it incorporates. And listen, when I got to I'm a firm believer that if in high school football, especially if you have a county at the end of your name, you got to do something different. And we always aren't going to be the fastest, and we're not always going to be the biggest, so we have to instill something. And my thing was toughness. We have to be tough, and not just physically tough, but mentally tough. So what we're doing in a sense is, yes, it's physically tough, but it's also a mental toughness that we're trying to gain. And we kind of added something this year to it. There's a team out in in Seattle, and I'm drawing a blank, but they run the wing tee, and they do a thing. They push their sled they push their sled for 1,500 yards on Midnight Madness, and so I kind of added that to it. So we'll flip tires, we'll carry cinder blocks or 45-pound weights, pull sleds, do some sprints, and do that kind of stuff. And at the end of it, for the 6 weeks we do it, we gradually build up to where when we come back on July 9th, which is Midnight Madness, we push the sled for 2,000 yards. So it's just something that we kind of took pride in, and listen, they bought into it, and I was really excited about it. And to be truthful, I talked to some guys. There was a coach from Glasgow, and he said, "Coach, I think the difference in our two teams is not talent, because I think Glasgow had a lot of talent. They were good. He said, I think we needed some Midnight Madness." And so it kind of gives us something to hang our hat on. And that's I take pride in that. And I think our guys take pride in that. They went out there and pushed the sled for 2,000 yards and went through toughness. And it's the old adage of practice should be harder than the game. And that's what we're trying to incorporate.
Yeah. Jackson, would you like to share some of your experiences through toughness?
Yeah. I think back on Midnight Madness, just looking around left and right, seeing guys throwing up, tapping out, mainly younger guys who've never been there before. We were pushing the sled a little bit, but never had done Midnight Madness. So I think us older guys really had to take control of that, getting people up. Sometimes we would have groups pushing back to back just because other groups couldn't go. Yeah. So taking pride in that was a big part of our success. When we got into the regular season, started running for 300, 400 yards, the offensive line was a big part of that. Yeah. And I think that really prepared us.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is people realize it's not just our O-line pushing the sled. I expect everybody, quarterbacks, everybody pushes the sled. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is we did 2,000 yards in like 45 minutes, which was really, to me, was unbelievable. I expected us to be there for an hour and a half. And Jackson's right. When I watched the coach from Bellevue, Washington, so it is Bellevue, Washington is the school. When I watched his little thing, he spoke about it one day. He said they were doing it on turf, which is I give my guys credit. Turf is easier to push a sled on than grass is. And he said, we set garbage cans up. I didn't set garbage cans up. I thought, how hard can it be? Well, we had a bunch of burnt spots in our Bermuda grass where they were all thrown up. So it was a good challenge, but I think it kicked our season off the way I think it kicked us off and gave us a sense of mentality that we needed to get through the season that we did.
Yeah. You compliment that offensive line, which was great, but I want to talk about it. You guys had an unbelievable running back room. You guys had a great room of running backs, Hunter, JD, Clark, and even Jordan. And I personally know Hunter. So how did it feel, to have those games where you could just rely on, any one of those guys to completely take over?
Well, when we went 6-5 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now, 3 seasons ago, in Jackson, I think I said to the guys, listen, if we want to be better than 6-5, we got to get better on defense. And I know you're talking about offense, but I'm gonna get there. And then even after we were 9-3, I said, boys, if we want to be better than 9-3, we got better on defense. Mm-hmm. So I took the adage of, listen, I don't care who carries the ball, okay, because we're gonna find a way to score. It's how we're gonna stop somebody. And having those kind of guys that are unselfish, and Jackson, I brag on Jackson. He could have been one of our best running backs, but he played tight end, and he's a great blocker, and he did a lot. He's a big reason we got where we were. But you named 4 kids there, four guys there, but that any given night they had great nights. But there's some other guys back there. Cam Asbury ran for 600 yards his sophomore year, and a guy by the name of Christian Martin. So we had the backs. It just goes to show what we're doing and how we're doing it. But it was nice to know that, it was hard to stop us, because no matter what you did, somebody was gonna have a good night, and Clark had some really good nights, and JD had some really good nights, and Hunter was just one of those guys. As the season got better, he got better. And they're all tough kids, and they all had their things they did well, and it really complimented us, and that's what's going to be the hardest part this year. Is we had depth at that spot last year. We got really good running backs again this year, but how am I going to create that depth? And it's going to have to be unselfishness and people being willing to shed the ball.
I want to take a little bit of a reflect back onto the season. I know you guys went undefeated in the regular season, but you guys were, tasked with some good teams. I talked to you a little bit before the show. I texted you, and I was talking about Glasgow, and it feels like you guys have kind of built a rivalry these past few years. How is the atmospheres at those games, and do you approach that game a little differently than some games?
Jackson, you start off. I'll finish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely approach it a little different than most. There's obviously a little bit of chatter between, social media pages and, it's only a 30-minute drive, so people knowing each other.
Yeah.
Having those connections, talking a little trash before the game starts. But, the preparations, it's a whole nother level. Monday through Thursday, it's, beat Glasgow, beat Glasgow, beat Glasgow. And then, even the week before, it was, hey, we got to do this so we can be prepared for Glasgow.
Yeah.
So, having that mentality, I think really helped us going in because we knew they were going to give 100%, and they were going to do everything they could just to beat us.
Yeah.
And I think we could say the same thing. We were going to do everything we could to beat them.
Yeah, and you texted earlier and said, "Hey, coach, become right," and it had become a rivalry. I think beforehand it was one-sided. Glasgow was just better than we were. They dominated the ride. They dominated it. And the thing that I can say to this is when you look at your schedule and you look at programs like a Glasgow, they're established program. I mean, they're one of the top programs in 3A across the state. That's where you want your program to be. So you always pick somebody out like that to. But what Jackson's saying is yes, beating a Glasgow and beating them twice in 1 year is a big feat for a football. I don't care who you are. I don't care what, because Glasgow they're a top tier football program, and that says a lot for them. It does, and it's become a really good battle. It's become a really good situation for us. I mean, we beat them last year for the first time since '89. So and then we beat them twice this year, and they were a really good football team this year. I mean, people are down on Glasgow, but they went 9-3, and two of their losses was to us, who we went 13-1. So. It's been a good rivalry. It's been a good competition. It's been a great football game. I mean, if you haven't watched our last 3 games, it's been great football games. I mean, it's come down to last year we had to stop them on 4th down and with like 30 seconds to go to win the game. This year we throw it wasn't really a Hail Mary, but we throw a ball up and Connor Trent makes a great catch to win the game. I mean, to go ahead with 19 seconds to go. Then in the playoffs, it was back and forth, and they had a chance to tie it at the end. We had to stop them. So it's been great. It's been what football rivalry is supposed to be about. I guess if you ask Glasgow, they may not say we're a rival, but I feel like we are, and I feel like they've got us circled on their schedule as well. Being we are the district champs, but Glasgow's anytime you can say you can be a Glasgow team, that says a lot. Okay.
Yeah. And one thing I love about a team, you talk about you getting your first district championship. I love when teams, are good, but they get to that point where they win that championship, and you really see the community come together. Did you guys have a lot of fans and community like pushing and backing you guys all year?
Yes. I can think of one instance. We played at Campbellsville, week 10. They were undefeated. We were undefeated, fighting for that undefeated season, and we might have had close to double their fans.
Yeah.
It was insane. You can see in all the pictures, from the photographers, you just see green and orange everywhere. So having them rally behind us in such an important game was game changing, and I think it helped us win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing I've said since I've been here, I come from a school of 2,000 guys, big, and it really doesn't have a community. I mean, it's just a big, massive area. I always tell the guys, small town football is what it's about. Friday night, small town football is what it's about. And our community, and I've said it to our guys before, what have we done to give back to our community? I mean, we haven't, finding a way to win is hard to do. And to watch our community and it started last year. Okay. We had good crowds last year. But just to watch them slowly, gradually just keep this, hey, listen, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. And to watch the signs go up around town and, from the, KSR radio coming down and doing a game and giving us a shout out about the best atmosphere they've been in all year long. It was great to turn around, and you don't realize it when you're down there and you're coaching and you're playing. And it's just like Jackson said, you see videos or you see pictures and you're like, man, it was great. And it's been good for our community. It really has. It's been good to give them something to be proud of. And that's what high school sports are about.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I want to keep reaching back and talking about the season a little more. You all beat Franklin Simpson to bring home that district championship. Talk about that game a little bit, because I seen it looked like it appeared to be we may have lost him again. He is returned. Coach, I'll repeat myself. So beating Franklin Simpson to bring home that district championship. Talk about that game a little bit, because I seen it was 21-18 was the final score. Seemed a little low scoring, maybe defensive sided. How did that game go and kind of play out? Jackson,
I guess I'll answer.
take the helmet.
Yeah,
flip.
it was definitely a defensive battle. We came out kind of sluggish. Obviously, I think that
You
was
got
that
me?
week 9. So going 8-0, never been done. Still never been done
You
in
got
school
me?
history.
I'm froze for some reason. So, did you?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear
Can you hear
guys.
us? We might have to do the old faithful and restart one more time. All right, but I'll ask you that. Go ahead and elaborate on that, Jackson.
Yeah, like I said, coming in district championship week, being 8-0, we were on our high horses a little bit. And we kind of underestimated them. They came out, scored a defensive touchdown on us, got up 6-0. We battled back a little bit, kind of, woke up a little bit, and then they get a pick right before half and kick a field goal. And we're like, man, they've got all the momentum. Griff's got to get in our butt a little bit during halftime, chew us out a little bit. But we came out in the second half. I think they scored one touchdown in the second half, and it was about at the very end. So then we were just able to kneel the ball and seal the victory. But it was definitely a defensive battle, and I'm glad we were just able to rally there towards the end, pretty much dominating the running game for another game. So back to pushing that sled 2,000 yards. Late in the game where we're all dead tired, blocking doesn't seem like an issue because we're used to pushing the sled. So we were able to just run the ball, especially when our receivers get a little tired. So that was a big game, big defensive game for sure. It was a great thing to see our fans rally behind us and then see our team rally together.
Yeah. You just asked about Franklin Simpson. That's what Jackson's talking about. It was Franklin Simpson's a really good football team, and they were really good defensively. They scared me because when I watched them, they didn't give up a lot, and we kind of sputtered there early, but defensively, once again, what people don't realize is people want to talk about how much we run the ball for and we do this and do that, but we only gave up 30 points one time this year, and we got beat, and so defensively against Franklin Simpson. After their first drive, I think they took the whole first quarter up, and we stopped them. And after that happened, I don't think they had like 70 yards of offense from that drive on. So it was one of those games where defensively, and that's why you want to be good on defense, is because even when you're struggling offensively, defense will keep you in the football game. And we found it out. We found a way, and in the second half, like Jackson said, the run game kind of took over, and I think we kind of wore them down, and that was the thing too that was good about this year. We played a lot of guys one way on defense and offense. I didn't have to play all my running backs on defense and all my linebackers on offense. So when it came fourth quarter, we were a little fresher than some teams, and we won a lot of games in the fourth quarter. We won Franklin Simpson and Camelsville, Union County. I can name a lot of games we won in the fourth quarter this year, and that's what you want.
Yeah. So I want to ask Jackson this because we referred a little bit about being what are you guys doing in the off season, Jackson, the basketball season. You put up, 16 points a game and about 8 rebounds. You were leading scorer for you guys and leading in rebounds. Share with me some of your best moments and your favorite moments in basketball because I want to hear that side as well.
Okay. I think I probably have to go back to last year. Wait, was it last year? I think it might have been 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. We played Caverna at home. Big district matchup, district rivalry. I think they had beaten us the year before, and we beat them once. So it was a huge game, huge fan base. Caverna, I think they brought a pet bus in. So both sides were absolutely packed. Me playing the big man at 6'2", it's a kind of a disadvantage when they have his name was Mika Terry. He was 6'10".
Yeah.
But it came down in the fourth quarter, and I got the ball at the top of the key, kind of just dribble to my left, spin back, aim one, to give us the lead, and then fouled him out.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of my more favorite parts of my basketball career, probably not just that season, but even this year, playing undersized, it's not always fun, but it sometimes gives us an advantage. I think it gave us an advantage in the district tournament. We were the 4 seed playing against Greene County, the 1 seed, and came down to the fourth quarter. We had run them to death. just
Yeah.
because we were really guard heavy. So it comes down to the fourth quarter where they're fouling us, we're hitting our free throws because we're just not as tired as them.
Mm.
So I think that was a big part of our success, was having a lot of guards, being able to run the floor. But basketball is not my best sport, but I definitely enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. And I want to ask you that because you're a guy who plays multiple sports. There's a big debate that's been going on. I've seen on Twitter people talking. I think Paige Buckers from UConn reached on it. Are you a firm believer that you need to play as many sports as you can in high school, and that isn't 100% worth it? And even Coach
Absolutely.
Brad, being the athletic director, is that something we should push?
Hey, listen, Jackson, our basketball team didn't practice this year until we were done playing football because that was our basketball team. Football team was our basketball team. Yes, I do. The one thing I would tell young athletes, and even I don't care how many sports you play. I want you to play them.
Yeah.
If you want to play football, basketball, baseball, and try and play golf, that's fine. I just think that the one thing that's overlooked in high school sports that guys don't realize that if you're going to be a multi-sport athlete, you still have to find a way in the weight room. Because that weight room is not just for football. And people want to say, "Oh, football players won't." No, if it's about generating power when you swing a bat. It's about, like Jackson talked about, being undersized on just physicality in general. Just strength is something that you have to prepare, and it makes it hard. Guys, especially in this day and age, it's hard to play 3 sports and then find a way in the weight room. That's why it's been good to have in-school lifting, and schools that are doing that are probably ahead of the game. But with that being said, you still have to find a way, and that's one thing I can always say that these guys have done is even when they didn't have in-school lifting, some of them show up before school, some of them were always there after school, or they just did it on their own. I can't tell you how many times I got a call from coach, "Hey, can I get the keys, get in the weight room?" So yes, to answer your question, I encourage you to play as many sports you can, but I also encourage you, if you want to be good at it, and you need to find a way in the weight room. You can be good at all the sports. I mean, Jackson is a phenomenal basketball player, and he's a really, really, really phenomenal football player. If he played baseball, he would have been good at it. Okay, he knows he's he's going to state tournament, going to state to throw discus. So yes, just multi sports is where it's at. It's how do you balance that? And sometimes I think coaches have a harder time with that than players do. So, but I encourage kids to play whatever they can.
I 100% agree. I think that's something that we should push. And I wanted to ask you that, you being the athletic director also. Let's shout out my guy Jacob Shoulders. Followed me earlier on a few social medias, and I know you guys both know him a little bit. Jackson, how does it feel to be able to share the field and play with him? And Coach Griffin, how is he? Is he a good guy, kind of like Jackson?
Go ahead, Jackson.
It was really special for me, for my family, getting to play with him, and then them getting to see us play together. Last year it was limited minutes on the football field, but he came in and did what he could. And then this year, stepping in the starting quarterback position, I know had to have been nerve-wracking for him. But come around week 1, he's having a little trouble. But me being the bigger brother, getting to go over and to encourage him, pick his head up. Hey, it's your first game ever starting.
Yeah.
That was really special to me, just being able to not really mentor him, but be there for him as an older brother, and then just seeing him grow all the way to week 14 was really special for me.
Yeah, Jacob is different than Jackson. Jackson is a little bit more gifted in talent. Jacob works really hard. He really does, and I'm not taking anything away from him. But having both of them, I've been fortunate that I've been in Hart County, and I've said this 1,000 times. I don't know how I'll act when I don't have to coach the shoulders. I mean, since I've been here, I've coached the shoulders, and I don't know how. They're all great. I coached their older brother John, and he was just as well. They're just great. They come from a great family. They're raised right. They're athletic, and they love to compete, and that means a lot. Competing is important, but Jacob, I think Jackson can attest to this. Jacob works hard, he was in a little bit of a quarterback battle, and he ended up coming out on top this past year. But the thing about him is he's just a good kid. I mean, he always shows up for workouts. He outworks people. This year he would show up and work out, then go to tennis practice, or he'd come before a tennis match and work out. So Jacob is a natural born leader just because his work ethic. Jackson's more of a natural leader. Jackson's more of a vocal leader when it's time. But both of them are phenomenal athletes, and both of them are phenomenal young men. And I can tell you this: I don't know what Jacob will go do Jackson 3 years ago told me, Coach, I don't want to play college football. So you don't never know what you're going to be, but I have no doubt that no matter what, either way, either one of them go, they're going to be successful in life because they're fun to have around. And Jacob's hard on himself. That if there's one thing he needs to step back sometimes and just understand that I'm going to make mistakes. Just forget about it and let's play the next play. But he stepped in as a sophomore this year and really, people act like we couldn't throw the ball, but when we needed to at the end, I mean, Jacob was one of the biggest reasons we won some playoff games and we beat Campbellsville. So he's had a heck of a year, and he's one of those guys I'm excited to see what this year brings for him.
Yeah. So I can kind of get the vibe from you two guys that you guys are really humble. You don't want to be, overly confident, overly cocky. But I want to say you were Coach Griffin, you were the Class 3A District 2 Coach of the Year, and Jackson, you were the Class 3A District 2 Player of the Year. What do those awards mean to you guys?
Go ahead, Jackson.
I think it's a testament to Hart County, really. That never has been done before. We've never had a Player of the Year. So I think it's a testament to Hart County, to the community, and to the team. I would never have won that award without my team being behind me. And like it goes to show that I know we've had guys just as talented or more talented than me in the past 53 years, but they didn't have the team to go with it. So I think it's a testament to my teammates. I don't think of it as a player award. I think of it as a team award. Yeah. So it was really special for me to receive that at Kroger Field. And then, I think I had probably 50, 60 people come up there and support me and Coach Griffin. That was really special too.
And Jackson's right. It's not about he or I. It's about our peers recognizing what we've done. I was fortunate to be the Kentucky Coach of the Year as well. But what meant more to me was we were in that situation because of what we were able to do as a team, what we were able to do as a community. I mean, it was, and there'll be a lot of coaches that coach football or coach basketball, and there'll be a lot of players that won't get to experience what we experienced this year. What I mean by that is not just the wins and the losses, but all the publicity. I've been fortunate to speak at several clinics this year, outside the state, inside the state, and people are still talking about Hart County, and that says something. So, yes, it's great to get awards and plaques, but in the end, it doesn't happen without the other 60 players and coaches and admin and everything else behind it. So, it's just great that people recognize Hart County because, like Jackson said, 53 years of not getting there is hard to do, and we did it. And so, maybe people know where Hart County is at now, and that's what it showed. Is people what it really showed is more than anything is people took notice of what we were doing. It wasn't just, here's just these sleepers. No, we've been gradually getting better, and like I tell the guys, we kicked the door down now. So it felt good to be selected by my peers, but in the end, it was more humbling. It was meant more to me to represent Hart County in that fashion.
Yeah, and we've been on here for about 38 minutes. I don't want to hold you guys too long, so I'm going to end it off with this question. I want Jackson to answer, and then I kind of got a two-parter for Coach. Jackson, say a piece of advice you would give to a younger athlete in high school, middle school, climbing up the ranks, getting better. And then, Coach, I want you to answer that, but I also want you to give a piece of advice for a younger man or woman getting into coaching, whether if it's college or high school level.
My advice would be to just be patient. Coming in as a freshman, I might have expected to have some more playing time than I did, but I just had to be patient, wait my turn, and then I think being behind those seniors playing before me really developed my game coming into sophomore and junior year, ready to step into that role. Skylar Culver is one of the seniors' names. He really mentored me my freshman year. Encouraging me not to be discouraged. When I didn't get on the field as much as I wanted to. Take those special team roles and really run with them. And that's what I did. I tried to just give 100% in whatever facet I could, whether it was scout offense or scout defense. So I would just say be patient because your time's going to come. You just got to put in the work.
Yeah, as far as athletes go, as younger athletes coming up, is one thing is you got to take something away from it, okay? And you got to take something. And so I always say this. The thing about it is when I got here, Jackson kind of made a comment about, I expected to play varsity. Well, that's in a good program that freshmen and sophomores don't play varsity football.
Yeah.
But as far as advice to a younger athlete is don't be so quick to quit. Quitting's easy, okay? And there's too much quitting going on in our life right now. Just in general, just in everything we do. It gets hard. People want to quit. And have some perseverance about yourself. Know that it's hard, but it's like everything else. In the end, if you stick to it and you give everything you got, you'll look back on it and there won't never be no negatives. I've yet to, and I tell guys this when they come and say, Coach, I don't know that I want to play football no more. I've been doing this 24 years and I've not had one person come to me in 24 years and say, Coach, quitting was the best thing I ever did. No, it's not. It's hard. It's hard to balance life in play sports, especially, you know, we're demanding as coaches, you know, school life, your parents want you to work, you want to get vehicles. So, you know, high school is a hard time to find that. But I always tell them that you can balance it all. And if you can do it now, that will help you do it in the future. So just know that it's going to be hard, but, you know, take on the competition, you know, know that competition is only going to make you a better person. Okay. If you don't have competition in your life, where are you going to be? And so whether it's sports, and, you know, sports is not for everybody, but I do see a lot of kids quitting right now. It's hard. We have some competition, and not just us. I'm just in general, you know, if you look across the state, I think numbers are down in sports, and just because it's not, it is hard. It's hard and it's very time consuming. And there's so much more that kids can do, but just know that stick with it, try it all. And, you know, I had a mom ask me today, should my kid run cross country and play football and play golf? Try it all, especially at a young age. Try it all. And then as you get older, then maybe, but just have fun with it too. And you know, don't think that hard work is not fun. Okay. Because I can tell you right now, football players don't like Monday through Thursday. They like Friday nights. Okay. So embrace that part of it. And I think as an athlete, when you graduate or you look back on your career, you're building bonds with your friends, you build friendships. It's just there's so much to it that people don't get to experience because they don't know, because they don't give it a chance because it looks hard or, you know, something like that. So that's one thing. And as far as young coaches, that same mom I was talking to today was also is a coach, and she was talking to me about a young lady or a young lady that wants to play basketball or not gonna play basketball. And I told her, and I say this to everybody, my number one saying in coaching, and I had to learn this early on, was if you're afraid to lose, you're never going to win. And what I mean by that is, as a coach, I came in here as a head coach from Central Hardin, and we were successful at Central Hardin, and I had really good coaches in Mark Perry, who's now the head of football operations at UK, you know, Tim Manley, who was a very successful coach at Central Hardin. He's now at Bardstown Bethlehem. I was fortunate to coach under two great coaches. And I thought, man, this is going to be easy. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to try and instill these philosophies. But what I got caught doing as a young coach was not staying true to what I believed. And what I mean by that is I was chasing kids because I thought we needed numbers, or I was letting little Tommy miss because I thought we needed them. And in the end, if I would have just instilled what I thought we needed, the toughness and all that stuff early on, and not chase numbers, tried to chase winning, what I call chasing winning, and quit worrying about losing and just do what I know to do it my way, and still what I know, I think we would have won a lot earlier. Yeah. So, and I'll go back to that saying, don't be afraid to lose, because if you're afraid to lose, you're going to do things to try and win that aren't going to help you lose. I mean, that aren't going to help you win. In the end, you're going to win. So that's one of my biggest things and I tell my guys, you know, as athletic director, I tell my coaches when they come to me, that's the number one thing I say to them: don't be afraid to lose. Losing and winning will happen if you do the right things. Jackson, I think we lost him.
I think I'm back.
Okay. Are you there?
Yeah.
Where'd you lose me at?
What's going on?
Where'd you lose me at? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Well, pretty much what I was saying is, don't be afraid to lose. If you're afraid to lose, you're never going to win. And what I mean by that is winning will happen if you do the little things right. Okay. And the little things are holding people accountable, having the discipline, you know, doing the things you believe in, doing the things that make you a good person as a coach. Do that stuff, instill that in your team, and you'll win. Because in the end, it's high school sports, or it's middle school sports, or even if it's college sports, college is a little bit different. You know, my son coached at the college level for a little while, but small time college is not that much different. You know, they're not changing coaches that much. So go in there and lay down who you are and get them to be, get the team to buy into you. That's one thing I'd like to say is people ask me, Coach, how did y'all do it this year? I mean, we don't have there's not a map. I mean, I don't have a recipe of, hey, this is how we're going to go 10-0 from here on out. No, coaching, especially these days, is I'm going to say 70 to 80% buy-in. If they buy into me and they believe in me, they're gonna drink the Kool-Aid I'm selling them. That means they're gonna like it. We're gonna and as a team, we're gonna all go in the right direction. We're all gonna be pulling in the right direction.
Yeah.
If they don't like me and they don't want to play for me and they don't buy what I'm saying, and then we're pulling in different directions and it's never gonna work. Mm-hmm. So there's some advice. That's the things I've had to learn the hard way. And if I had myself 8 years ago when I took this job just to hold me accountable, I really feel like I'd have been a lot more successful early on because I was worried about winning. I didn't want to lose. I wanted to win. So I was doing things that I thought by keeping people around in a program that were detrimental would help me win, and they didn't. In the end, we still would have won 2 or 3 games. It didn't matter if we had them or not. So, live and learn. But that's the hardest thing in coaching, especially in high school sports, because we don't get to pick who we get. That's the hardest thing is understand that a bad apple is never gonna. You can't. Once the apple's rotten, it's rotten.
Yeah,
and that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I had a few little technological difficulties there, but I heard most of everything you said, and I agree. I think that's a good message to push. Same with what Jackson said to the younger athletes. I held you guys for 46 minutes, but I want to say thank you guys for coming on here. I had a really great time. I'm glad you guys got to come on here, talk about that, reflect on the season, awards, etc. I would like to welcome Coach Griffin back on anytime in this upcoming season. Maybe us sit down, chit-chat again about that, bring a player along. And same with you, Jackson. I want to, during the season, maybe check in on you. Everyone stay up to date with Georgetown. Watch how they're going to be this year. Keep up with Jackson and keep up with Hart County. Because like Coach Griffin said, I don't think last year was a fluke. I expect another great season in the mix, and I can't wait for it.
Well, thanks for having us. Anytime I can talk about Hart County football or Hart County athletics in general, it's good. I think we're overlooked in a lot of places, but I'm excited for the upcoming season. I'm excited for Jackson and the other 4 seniors to get to go play college football. I'm excited. I say it. I'm excited for our brand. I'm excited for everything that's going on at Hart County, especially in football. I am a little biased when it comes to that. We work hard to do what we do, and I'm excited for another season. Is it going to be 10-0? I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that our kids they're fighters, and it's going to be a good season. So thanks again, and I'd love to be back on the show whenever you want to have me.
Thank you. We'll sign off there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Like I said, keep up with Jackson and his time at college this year, and make sure to keep Hart County on the